Welcome back to another Alsace Live. We have a great chat for you today where we're going to talk a little bit about bubbles. I bet you didn't think I was going to say that. So we have this fantastic wine vintner who is going to talk to us all about her multi-generational winery. Multi-generation, I'm talking a lot of generations. So let's see if we can't get her on. And we had a little problems with the internet, so we're hoping that this works a bit better. And that's okay. That's okay. We keep rolling. It is a gorgeous autumn day. I hope everyone is having a great day, enjoying the sunshine. It's a little cold, but I think we're kind of ready for that. And here she is. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will be chatting with Marlene Dopff from Dopff au Moulin, from a very small town called Riquer. Her family is producing terroir-driven wines. So welcome, Marlene. How are you today?
Fine. So, hello everybody. I am delighted to be with you today and to explain you the history of the estate and to explain why we are so special.
And you are so special. So let's start with the history. Tell us more about how far back your family goes making these wines.
Okay, then let me introduce you the family tree.
Yes.
And the roots are very deep because we are, the Dopff family, the first Dopff came in Riquer in 1574 to repopulate Riquer, and they came from Erringen in Germany.
Oh.
You have to know that the Dopff family is a Protestant family. Maybe it means we have very dry wine with a dry style. I don't know. The first generation of Dopff were in French. They were maître tonnelier, and I have made some researches on the maître tonnelier were master and barrel makers. It means they were building or producing the barrels, but they were also elaborate the wine inside the barrel. Then they were enologists at that time.
Okay. So they were not enologists then?
They were enologists.
They were?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Because they were barrel makers and they were taking care of the wine inside the barrel.
Well, they just did everything then, didn't they?
Yes. And several generation of master maître tonnelier. And after we have one generation of, we call in French, gourmet.
Okay.
And the gourmet was the man between the winemaker and the buyer. Because you have to consider that at that time, the winemaker was taking care of his vineyard. He was elaborating some wine, but he didn't know how to sell his wine. Then they needed gourmet.
So they're like vendors.
Yes.
Yes.
Then we have gourmet in the family tree. That's very important. And the next generation are owners and winemakers. But I would like to explain you why we are so special. I would like to make a focus on the 10th generation. And the 10th generation was Gustave Julien, but everybody used to call him Julien. And Julien, when he was 18 years old, he went in Paris to the Universal Fair, and the Universal Fair was in 1900, and he discovered how to produce champagne or how to produce sparkling wine. And he has been thunderstruck by this innovation. Thank you. And he decided not to come back in Alsace, but to go directly in Champagne. And he spent 2 years in Champagne to learn about the vinification and to learn about the business of Champagne. And he did this during 2 years. And after 2 years, his parents asked him to come back in Alsace because they needed him at the estate. And he said, okay, why not? I come back, but under one condition. I want to produce some sparkling wine, some champagne. And hopefully his parents said, okay. Then Julien came back and he started to make some experiences. And he used to buy the must from Champagne, and he was vinifying it here in Alsace. And by this way, he was able to call his sparkling Champagne Dopff. Then let me show you something. We have a panel with Champagne Dopff, and you can see he had the offices here in Rivière and the offices also in Epernay. But of course, very quickly, the Champagne authority said, oh, we have business to protect our appellation. Of course, they were in the... It was normal to protect the Champagne appellation. Then the big challenge of Julien was to find the good grape varieties who would be able to produce the best sparkling in Alsace. Mm-hmm. And the other winemaker around Rivière, they made some experiences. And
so they were influenced by Julien.
Of course, yes. And for Julien, the best blend to produce the best sparkling was Pinot Blanc and Auxerrois. But he was only able to call his sparkling Mousseux Dopff.
Okay.
And when you consider that before he used to buy his sparkling Champagne Dopff, and if you consider that Julien was very ambitious, mm-hmm. Julien decided to start to write the AOC Crémant d'Alsace. That's how the story starts. And the AOC Crémant d'Alsace was born in 1976. Okay. And on the family tree, you can see that Julien died in 1972.
Wow.
Then he didn't see the achievement of the AOC. But hopefully, his son, Julien Pierre, continue, and Alsace obtained the appellation Crémant d'Alsace in 1976.
Wonderful.
Yes. Of course, we are producing some Crémant, but besides, we have also some wine, some still wines.
Of course.
And I was saying we were special because 40% of our production is made with Crémant. The Dopff family is very playful, and we have 10 different Crémant on our ranch.
That's a lot.
Yes, with different dosage or with different blends.
And we had a bunch of them when we were in Alsace earlier this summer.
Yes.
There were
yes.
Tons of them, you guys. There were so many.
Yes. You can have Crémant for each day of the week.
Yes. And the next week.
Yes.
And the next week. Well, I want to let everybody know, like, this goes back, so it's the current generation that is running the winery is the 13th generation. And you're actually having a little bit of a celebration, are you you?
Yes, exactly. Next year in 2024, we will celebrate the 450th anniversary of the first Dopff in Rivière. And we are planning some celebration, of course. And we are also planning some specific cuvées. Well,
let's cheers and taste our first wine, which just so happens to be the Bobos.
Yes. And I want you to hear the noise of the cork.
I already opened the bottle on the live. Maybe you didn't notice, but tell me, what am I looking for? Woo! I heard it. Cheers to 450 years.
Yes.
All right, so take us through this tasting. What are we looking for?
Alors, Cuvée Julien is our flagship. We sell it all over the world, and it is the original blend of Julien, Pinot Blanc and Auxerrois, with a dosage at less than 5 grams of residual per liter. The nose is very fresh.
Yeah.
You have some white flowers aromas. On the mouth, you will find some citrus and pear notes.
I definitely got the pear apple on the nose as well. Very, very fresh, like a Bosque pear when they're that pretty green color. But one thing that I noticed too is that the mousse, the bubbles, they're so vibrant, and they just, it's like there are a gabillion of them. I'm assuming, well, it's Cremant, so it's got to be secondary fermentation in the bottle, correct?
Yes, that's it.
Bien sûr.
Yes.
Bien sûr. And so where could someone purchase a bottle like this? Is it sold in retail or only restaurants?
Alors, in USA, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Alors, you can find some in some restaurant around Chicago.
Okay.
You can find for private customer in Texas.
Okay.
With Claude Alexander Vineyard, in Chicago with Heritage, and in New York in liquor store with Wine Dome. There are
Very cool.
importers in the USA.
In retails. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, let's move on to some of the still wines, because I'm very excited to taste these too, because this is beautiful and celebratory, and it's a beautiful way to celebrate the new season and the previous 13 generations. And just, because it's Friday the 13th, y'all, we might as well drink some bubbles. All right, let's move on to the next wine.
Okay.
We have for you
Pinot Gris.
Pinot Gris, and this is the 2016 vintage. So it's rare. I will tell you, at the minimum in the States, it's rare to get a 2016 Pinot Gris.
Ah, okay.
That is rare.
Then if you need to buy some, you just need to call Claude Alexander Vineyard, and he has a nice stock of this vintage.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's jumping out of the glass.
Mm-hmm.
So aromatic.
Yes.
I didn't expect that. Wow.
You have the typical nose of the Pinot Gris.
Typical.
In a dry style.
It's very expressive, and I have to tell you, it's much more expressive than some of the other Pinot Gris that I've had. It's a gorgeous wine for the fall, to be honest with you, because it not only has like that, it's got this kumquat quality to it, which we mentioned the other day in some of the Rieslings in the Pinot Gris, actually in the Gewürztraminer, but I'm also getting kind of this potpourri tone, almost like this blood orange dried fruit, or even an apricot out of it, which is why I feel it's so interesting. But it's a little lighter on the palate. It's not, the aromas are actually much stronger and much more vibrant. The palate to me is very soft. It's almost soft and peachy. There is a touch of bitter quality to it, just a touch. Mm-hmm. But
how would you consider the texture of this wine?
It's very soft and creamy.
Mm-hmm. And I would say velvety, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Excellent word for this. Now tell us about 2016 vintage. There was something specific about it. You wanted me to open this vintage versus another.
Just because you can still find it in the USA, but it was a very nice vintage in Alsace, because we had some rain and some sun. Then it was a perfect condition for the maturation of the grapes.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. That's really good to know.
Mm-hmm.
And
as you say, it is the perfect wine to start the fall season.
Yeah, I really agree it is. We're going to go over some food pairings in a moment, but before we do that, tell us about your Grand Cru vineyards.
Okay. Alors, at Dopff Moulin, we are lucky to have 3 Grand Cru. The Grand Cru Brandt in Turkheim, made of granitic soil, the Grand Cru Sporen of Rigvir, made of marls, and the Grand Cru Chenambourg. We will taste Grand Cru Chenambourg in a few moments, yes. And this Grand Cru Chenambourg is emblematic in Rigvir. It is just behind the estate. And Chenambourg in Alsace means the small hill.
The roll hill.
The small.
Okay.
Yeah. And it counts 53 hectares. On the highest peak, it is 380 meters. And at the estate, we are lucky to have 10 hectares on it, mainly planted with Riesling and Pinot Gris. And this year, we planted some Pinot Noir.
Ooh.
In 10 years, we will see how we Pinot Noir. Alors, of course, we will taste it before, but grapes need time on a terroir to express the terroir.
So you're just now planting Pinot Noir. They've been planting Pinot Noir for a little bit of time now.
Yes.
And that was something that was really fascinating to me when we were out there. And obviously we didn't taste yours yet, you just planted. But that was, people don't think of Pinot Noir. Oh, let's get some Alsatian Pinot Noir. But yeah, it's there and it's gorgeous. So I got to tell you, I'm going to wait around for your Pinot Noir in 10 years. I'm going to put a bookmark in my calendar in 10 years from now. But let's taste. Let's go ahead and taste the Grand Cru. This is a Schonenbourg.
Yes, and I didn't tell you, but the Grand Cru Schonenbourg is a terroir made of marls and limestones. And it has two different parts. One part with limestone, you can see. I bring one for you. Yeah. And the other part with marls. And look at this. Oh, they are very, very nice. And sometimes with marls, you also have some venom of gypsum.
Okay.
And all those elements make this wine so special.
Gorgeous. And you also have very, very steep slopes.
Yes. South face also.
So this is like classic Riesling aromas jumping out of the glass.
Very mineral on the nose.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's very savory. Mm-hmm. It does have that minerality quality to it, but on the palate, oh my gosh, my mouth is just watering.
Yes.
But what I'm noticing is there's this savory, salty quality to the wine that you don't expect from a Riesling.
Yes, but this is due to the gypsum, due to this part.
And what does that particular rock bring that makes this so?
Saltiness.
The saltiness, there you go.
Yes, because gypsum is a precipitation of salt.
Okay.
Yes.
There it is. there it is. That's all. That's the simplest answer I could have hoped for.
But on the vintage 2017, you also have some flint aromas.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you feel them?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Flintiness, definitely. Mm-mm. So, yes, best of Alsace. Yes, this is the 2017.
Yes.
Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
And you still can find it in the USA, but no more in France. Then you are very lucky.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go on to the food pairings.
Yes.
So I mentioned that these wines are fantastic for the fall, and I love white wine all year round. I think that there are so many different expressions of white wines that, yes, you can change what you drink in the summer and in the fall and even in the winter, but these wines are singing fall to me. So I have a little garden, Marlene. I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, and I took this year for the first time to try to grow butternut squash, and I got these little teeny tiny expressions of little baby butternut squash. Hello. So I diced them up and I didn't make all of this, to be honest with you. I'm not taking credit for all of it, but I diced them up. I sauteed them with a little bit of, fresh sage that I grow in my garden as well. Mm-hmm. And I have a butternut squash ravioli.
Whoa.
That I didn't make the ravioli, but I sauteed the butternut squash and the sage. And what I did is I crumbled some of these amazing biscoff and put some breadcrumbs in it and a little actually it was not Parmesan, pecorino, shredded pecorino on it. So which wine do you think will go with it best?
Maybe the Pinot Gris.
Okay. I'm going to try it and I want to let you know. What other things go really nicely with the Pinot Gris?
Alors, I would say a creamy poultry with mushrooms.
Okay.
For example.
The Pinot Gris, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be with you.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
you have the texture of the Pinot Gris that answers to the texture of the butternut.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. When I first took a bite of the ravioli, I didn't get the sweetness that sometimes you get in butternut squash, but I didn't get the sweetness of that cookie crumble.
Okay.
But it popped when I tasted the Pinot Gris, and the saltiness from the pecorino, it then layered on top of it too. So that pairing is fantastic. See, now I want to try another pairing. What do you think the Riesling is going to do with this?
With this dish?
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I'm not sure.
Fair.
But you have to try because it's wine and food pairing is a game. Huh?
Yeah, it is.
We all have to play.
Okay, I agree with your uncertainty for it. It's not bad, but I think that the Pinot Gris was just layered and layered and layered and layered and layered. It was really, really cool. The Riesling, I think it's so minerally and so salty that it overpowers all of the layered sweetness flavors and the cheese and the butternut squash as well in that dish.
And I think that the Riesling is too straight for this butternut.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, I have one more food pairing for you, and I'm going to ask you what you think. I should go for it. This is a pumpkin muffin. No, it's a pumpkin cupcake with a cream cheese center. So it's sweet.
With, sorry, can you repeat? Inside?
A cream cheese like frosting in the center.
Oh.
Whoa, so which one would that go with? I have a theory, but I want to hear your thought. Cheese center?
Oh.
What are your thoughts? I think, come on.
Mm-hmm. Crema, yes, and maybe you could try again the Pinot Gris.
Okay, because of the creaminess? So same texture? Okay, well, I'm trying that one, and it does go really nicely with the Cremant because it's kind of balancing it. The creaminess and the bubbles and the acidity is like really going well. And that's always the trick with sweet, sweet desserts and food pairings and wine pairings like that. They're very difficult. They're much more difficult than savory food pairings.
Yes,
for sure. But while I try that with the Pinot Gris, why don't you tell everybody what you think, which foods go well with the Riesling?
Then with the Riesling, you can eat some
Oysters?
some
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Fish, and I would say a fish with a creamy sauce. And in the sauce, you can add a hint of lemon, and that would pair beautifully, I think. I am sure, because I always did it.
Because you've had it before. You know what? I got to tell you, all that sweetness and creaminess, it's too much for the Pinot Gris.
Okay, perfect.
The Cremant nailed it. The Cremant absolutely nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Okay, then next time you come on in Alsace, I will invite you in my kitchen.
Yes.
We will make some we will play.
Yes, I love it. That's the best thing, is to play with food and wine. And I think that people need to know more that all of your wines, all of Alsatian wines really, are made to be enjoyed with varying foods. We've talked about on many other lives, Lunch with Alsace, IG lives, that Asian food goes so really well. So well with Alsatian wines. But I got to tell you, I wonder maybe if it was an Asian dish, it couldn't be too spicy or salty, because I think that it would be a little bit too much maybe with that Riesling, that Grand Cru Riesling. Might be too much salt. but I think that maybe something a little sweeter might balance out really nicely.
I think with Asian food you can drink a Gewürztraminer.
Of course, of
Or
course.
a Pinot Blanc.
Pinot Blanc.
Pinot
Okay.
Blanc with a very nice texture.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with these fall foods, I think your wines go really nicely. Now I'm on a mission. I Corvan that Riesling, so I don't have to pop the cork right now. But now I'm kind of on a mission to find some amazing food that are going to go well with that. Maybe I'll get some sushi tonight or something for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good idea.
Thank you so much, Marlene. Could you tell everybody what makes? I mean, you're rooted, your family is rooted in Alsace and Riquier. Could you tell everybody who's watching what makes Alsace so special to you?
Alors, I think 2 points that make Alsace so special. Hospitality, because when you come in Alsace and when you want to come and visit some estates, each estate, everybody is happy to welcome you, to explain you our 7 grapes varieties, to give you information about our terroir and about our culture. And it's in our DNA. Then please come and visit us because the hospitality is huge. And the second point that makes Alsace so special and so unique, it's the diversity of terroir. We have 13 different terroirs in Alsace, from a granitic soil, a schist soil, sandstones, marl, and so on. And when you know everything about our grape varieties, you can still continue to learn and to be surprised by Alsace if you start to recognize a terroir behind the wine. Because, for example, a Riesling that grows on granitic soil will be totally different from a Riesling that grows on limestone soil. And once again, this is a game when you can learn so much. Yes, but that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I can absolutely echo your sentiments. The hospitality that I found when I was in Alsace was compared to none. It was so wonderful. Everyone is so warm. You know, there's such a spirit of growth, a spirit of the future, a spirit of kindness, a spirit of giving, and it's beautiful, beautiful. So if you do get a chance, by all means, try to get to Alsace. It's a gorgeous region, small towns, and just really amazing people and amazing wine. Absolutely amazing wine. So please try your best to get there. And if you can't, make sure that you're trying some of these amazing Dopff wines here in the States or wherever you happen to be watching this. See if you can't get, yes, Cremant, Riesling, Pinot Gris, amazing wines. And they go great with native Alsatian cuisine, but they pair so well with a lot of other different cuisines, and they're great for the fall. So go get them. I want to thank you all for coming. Marlene, did we forget anything about the Domaine that we need to talk about?
Excuse me?
Did I forget anything about the Domaine?
No,
No?
you are all more than welcome to come and visit us. We would be pleased to welcome you. And Carrie, you are next time welcome in my kitchen.
Yes, I want to come into your kitchen. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Marlene, for joining us. This has been absolutely lovely to chat with you. And thank you, everybody else who joined us. Please make sure that you follow us on Drink Alsace for more amazing information and tasty tidbits about Alsatian wines, the region, the people that make it so very special and amazing. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm going to give you another final cheers for your 450th anniversary and your amazing wines. Thank you so much for joining us, and everybody who joined us, cheers to you. Happy Friday the 13th and happy fall. Cheers.
Bye. And see you in Alsace.
See you all in Alsace.
Bye-bye.